We're going to talk about the fast and inefficient way of heating your water. Okay. The This is for when the weather sucks. So, whenever the weather sucks, you're going to have your thermostat and element making the water hot. Something that is key to remember right now is that when you are relying on this to make your water hot, you are only heating the water from basically about this red line, a little bit above this red line, up in your tank. That's at best 30 gallons, okay? And it is only heated by one element and thermostat. The performance on that, again, sucks. But what you're looking for, the key to this is recovery time. So from a dead cold or ground temperature cold, which is about 76 to 78 degrees out here, if it's that cold and you go ahead and turn it on, then it will take about an hour for this to heat from here up. 1 hour is going to consume 4,500 watts of electricity. Okay? But it'll be nice and toasty hot for you guys there. Then, as this stays on, we have this at a set point of about 123. And the way that your thermostat is going to work then is it will not even start to heat the water until it detects that the water is only 113 degrees. When the water is only 113 degrees, it'll take the power then, give it to the element. The element's going to go ahead and cook the water. And as you can see, there's a special clip here pressing your element up against the tank. So it's feeling the heat from its backside there. And so it'll heat it up until it's 123 and then cut off. And so long as your circuit breakers 5 and 7 and your timer are in the on position, it'll keep feeding power to this thermostat. And every time it drops down to 113 from the usage, it'll go ahead and heat it up to 123 and cut off. And keep that cycle up until finally your timer shuts off. So basically, if there's ever any kind of a problem and your timer is in the on position and your circuit breakers are in the on position, and for any reason it didn't heat the water, chances are you need to press your reset button. Your solar, as I told you earlier, can get your water up to about 177 at the bottom there, and it'll probably be 177 throughout the tank, maybe just a hair hotter up here. That is close to the parameters of this thing wanting to trip off. And this is just like a circuit breaker. Circuit breaker heats up due to the amperage. It turns off. This thing will turn off just from heat. It's tuned to open up at I think it's 190 degrees. And so you can see 177 is 13 shy of 190, and these weren't calibrated by NASA. So see what I'm saying? So inadvertently, your solar can get this thing so hot in August, and then the first time you guys really need to use this, maybe a month or two down the road, you turn this thing on, water's not even starting to get warm after about 40 minutes. It's time to go ahead and then shut this off, shut breakers 5 and 7 off for safety. Come out here, open this up, press the reset. It's going to make a metallic sound, and then you'll know that it had engaged. I showed you earlier outside about looking at the speed of your meter. So you check the speed out there if you really want to know if it's consuming the power. Then you go ahead and close this door here. Let's see. So you close the door, and then you go inside. You restore power at circuits 5 and 7. You then come out here, and then you turn on your timer, and then you go out there, and the lines should be moving differently at your meter. If your PV is putting out a lot of power at that time, it'll slow it down. If it's putting out a little bit of power, it'll reverse the direction. If it's putting out no power, it'll speed up whatever direction it had been going in. But you're looking for a change in speed there. And then an hour later, you should have comfy water. And winter's the trifecta. Shorter days, worse weather, guests. Okay? And so let everyone in the house know that if everyone knows that you're relying on the timer, space hot loads apart, whether it be dishes, a load in the dishwasher, a load at the washing machine here, a shower, what have you. Let it go about 20 to 25 minutes in between what you would call a hot load, and then and you should be good. A lot of times people try to cheat, and they try to go ahead and turn up the thermostat. When you're turning up the thermostat, for each 10 degrees rise, you're going to use actually more kilowatts, because you're actually having to work harder to push more heat into water that's already hot. It's like trying to push air into a bike tire. The higher pressures you get to, the more energy you have to exert for every 10 psi, that kind of thing. It's not that drastic, but there is a little bit more energy involved. So don't shoot yourself in the foot with the savings. Now, the other thing I wanted to let you know is your timer here. Okay, your timer, or I'll tell the path of the electricity first. Circuits 5 and 7, they come through here. This feeds this switch box here. This is for an electrician to safety the area. Don't ever touch this, these things break. Ugh. So, so just leave it in the on position and shut power off at the circuit breaker. It then goes to your timer. Your timer is basically a light switch regulated by a clock. Okay. The manual override and your clips activate a switch that is located right behind here. Therefore, the correct time of day always needs to line up with this. Whenever your hand is in here or in here, circuits 5 and 7, please have them off. Whenever you're setting the time, to avoid stripping the gears in here, you pull this away from the wall about 1/4 inch, and then you can spin it freely to the correct time of day. I want you to see something here with the timer clips. Your timer clips, as they come around, are going to turn it on or off, and they're going to do it like this. Your on clip has a tooth that drops down towards the center. Your off clip has a tooth that drops down towards the perimeter of the circle. And they fit snugly on there. Now, what can happen, you should always have very easy travel between the switch. Any time of the day that this feels uncomfortably cool, feel free to come out here, turn them on. Don't worry. This is actually going to automatically turn itself off. I have it tuned, you probably saw that, to turn off automatically at 8 a.m. the next morning. Okay, that's ideally at the beginning of the solar cycle. What I'm shooting for here is to have this thing turn off only. You guys have a nice weatherproof access out here. Is it only family in the house? If it's only in the family in the house, anyone can just turn it on like that, no problem. It'll make the water hot, but I want you guys being rest assured that most of the time you're getting your water hot from the solar. Having it set like this is your canary in the coal mine. If you're having to turn this on all the time on a cloudy day, on a sunny day, something's wrong. That means something's wrong with your solar. It will then call your attention to it. And so basically, we can add other settings on later if you feel comfortable with it with the guests. But for right now, try it with the 8 a.m. off setting on there. I think you guys are going to be kind of stoked. Weekend, I don't know. Right now, you see what I'm saying. You might have to come out in here and turn it on. Again, feel free to add the on or off clips. I'm going to stow them in here like that. Now, once you have on and off clips on here, it's going to automatically be switching like this. Now, on its own, that's nothing. But over time, day after day after day of tripping on and off, even if there's only one on and one off setting, that's vibration. And those vibrations can loosen these screws. When these screws loosen, gravity is going to make them fall down right over to the switching area. And you've probably seen this with wood clamps, with certain climbing equipment. You get two pieces of metal on a metal bar, and they can actually create tension where you can actually pull up your own body weight on a rope. You can actually clamp wood with that. It's very strong. In other words, you get two clips that slid down here incidentally, and they'll lock up your motor, and they will break your motor. You see what I'm saying? So, once every so often, I'd like you guys to come out here, especially if you have on and off here. And as you're checking the time, shut off the circuits beforehand, of course. Just tighten the screws. Just gratuitously do that every time you have your hand in here, and you'll be fine. That's pretty much all I can say on your timer. We've reviewed the reset button feature. That's it.